Hi everyone, I'm Reen Wilcoxon, owner of Embroidery Garden, and welcome to my February demo. This month I'm going to be showing you how to make my little I love to sew keychain. And before I forget, I probably put this out a couple of months ago. If you purchased this, go back into your account on embroiderygarden.com, re-download the file, because then you will get the I love to quilt little keychain. So don't forget, go in, re-download, and you will have both files. So let's see who's popping in here today. I see we got some viewers. I don't see the comments coming through yet. It's always a little bit behind. But if you're new to Embroidery Garden, I do a monthly demo every month. I did one last year from January through December. I did my January demo last month, and this is February's. Hi, Norma. Thanks for joining me. It's kind of cold here in Indiana today. It is warming up, but we're going to have like 50-mile-an-hour winds, and so it's a little chilly out still. Hopefully, it's going to melt a lot of the snow. Hi, Karen. Hi, Betty. Hi, Lori. Hi, Tammy. Thanks for joining me. Hi, Caroline. So as you're coming in, again, I'm going to be showing you the I Love to Sew keychain, talking about stitching small lettering and stitching on marine vinyl, installing cam snaps. And I've got another sample here of some small lettering that I'm going to talk about. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how to make this look really nice. Think spring. That's right, Gloria. You did think about spring. Hi, Lori. Hi, Jan. Hi, Beth. Thanks for joining me. Now, at the very beginning of the comments, I put a link to a web page that shows everything I'm going to be talking about with direct links to those products so that you can see what I'm using. You can go read more about it. You can purchase it if you want. Hi, Kathy. Thanks for joining me. Okay, so let me switch my camera so you can see some of the things I'm going to be using today. And one second here. I got things popping up, so let me get those out of my way. Okay, so what we're going to need to make the keychain, and let me give you kind of a closer up view of it. Here's the front. Here's the back. This is stitched on marine vinyl. I got the marine vinyl from Joann's. It comes on big rolls in the home dec department. You can buy like a 1/4 yard of it, and you can make a lot of things with just a 1/4 yard because it's really wide. It's on those big rolls. So that's what I used. I'm also using a tearaway stabilizer. Okay, someone says, Vicki, the hole punch link says that it's not found. I will go back and fix that. But you need tearaway stabilizer. I just have one sheet. I'm in my 4x4 hoop. Hi, Darlene. And we need 2 pieces of marine vinyl. You could also use cork. You could use faux leather. You could get a lot of things. Anything that's non-fraying, you can make the keychain out of. So I've got one piece already cut. I'm going to put it right side up on top of the tearaway stabilizer, and I'm going to tape it in place. You really want to tape it in place because you don't want these pieces to shift. A little bit of tape will hold it. I'm just going to put one like on each side of this, and that'll be enough to hold it in place. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Carol. Hi, Beth. Thanks for joining. So that's good enough to hold it in place. This design only has 3 steps to it. The first step is going to stitch a placement for the snap. The second step is going to stitch the lettering. And the third step is going to attach another piece of marine vinyl to the back side of the hoop so that it's all nicely covered. So I'm going to go ahead, and I've got a camera on my machine. So let me go ahead and bring that in. Hopefully you're going to be able to get a good look at the machine. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Sheila. And like I said, the first step that's going to stitch are just placement lines for where I'm going to put the snaps. So I've already got black thread loaded. And we're going to let those little placement lines stitch. There's going to be 2 of them. Hi, Tina. Hi, Joan. Hi, Debbie. Thanks for joining. You see a lot of your favorite products? Yes. I do like to tell you the products that I use because one thing, if I don't, I get lots of emails and messages. Okay, so you can see it just made 2 small, tiny little circles. That's all the placement lines are. So let me go back to the table because I want to talk about something else here. And let me bring the table back up. And whoops, forgot how to do it. So there we go. All right, Lori, I'm going to talk about needles and everything right now. So the lettering on these keychains, it is small, but it's not really that small. I am going to be talking about small lettering here in just a second. But for the keychains, what I'm going to use on the keychain, I'm going to use a regular 7511 needle to start. I'm using a regular bobbin for right now. What I like to do when I have lettering that is small like this, I like to use a smaller needle. And let me see if I can get this to focus. I'm using a 7010, which is a smaller needle. I'm going to put these towels here because everything I'm going to talk about is going to pertain to these towels also. And while the lettering is stitching on the keychain, I'm going to talk about the towels. So for small lettering, I like to use a smaller needle, like a 7010. They even make a 65-9, which I'll talk about in a little bit. I like to use a thinner bobbin. These are 90 weight bobbins. It's the same bobbin thread, machine embroidery bobbin thread. It's just thinner. And let's see, I think that's all that I use different on the keychains. So the second step of the keychain, and I'm going to get back to the second step for the keychain. I don't know why my camera's doing that, but it is. Okay, so the next step that stitches on the keychain is the lettering. And I already put the 7010 needle in my machine. So that's already in there. I'm going to stitch the lettering in black. I'm using just regular 40 weight embroidery thread. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit the button, let it start stitching the lettering. And we're going to come back and talk about the towel. So let me get that out of the way. So on the towels, and I have 2 of them. These are like our towels that came out of our bar. It's a recipe for a drink. You can do recipes like maybe your grandmother has an apple pie recipe passed down in the family. Anything, any kind of a recipe or any kind of small lettering, a quote or anything you want to stitch onto something. It's going to be smaller lettering. Now, I did both of these in 2 different programs. The blue towel, I used Dime's Perfect Pro professional embroidery software. It has built-in micro fonts. These are fonts that are made to stitch well at smaller sizes. This one I did in Brothers BES4 software, which also has small fonts built in. So, but you can see this one, I made the letters a little bit bigger because the whole recipe here is larger than this one. This one is stitched at about a 1/4 inch. This one is stitched probably closer to 0.3 inches. But when I stitched these towels, both of them, I used the 90 weight bobbins. I used the 7010 needle. These I just used regular embroidery thread, 40 weight embroidery thread. They do make thinner embroidery thread. I know Dime has a line of thread called Fine Line, which I'm not exactly sure the weight of it, but it could be 80 weight thread. So when you're doing all of these small lettering, everything that you use helps it to look its best. So this towel is, let me check the brand. This one is Dunroven House. And this one is, where's the tag? Wimple Street. I don't know if you can see that tag, Wimple Street. So they're both really nice towels, both 100% cotton. And let's look at this one first. Everybody wants to look at the back side, right? Let me know if you want to see the back side. I'm sure you do, because everyone always wants to look at the back side of something, especially towels and things. So let me just open it up here. And on the back side, we don't see any stabilizer because I did not use stabilizer when I embroidered this. Molly, I didn't wash the towels first, but this blue towel has been washed since I embroidered it. So I did not use any stabilizer. What I used was Terreal Magic. So this is a spray fabric stabilizer. A lot of people call it, I've heard them refer to it as stabilizer on steroids, because what you do is you take it, and before you embroider on your towel, you're going to spray it, get it nice and wet, and then use an iron over it and dry it. And I do it probably 2 times, maybe even 3 times. And it makes the towel kind of feel like paper, or it would make the fabric, just if you're using cotton fabric, have more of a paper feel. So I use Terreal Magic. And then on this one, actually on both, I used my dime magnetic hoops. So you can see there's no stabilizer. I'm going to try to lift it up, let the camera focus. And what I like about it too is, okay, there's no stabilizer, so I didn't have to rip anything off, but the back side is nice and smooth. There aren't any big knots. There aren't any, I do have some thread tails I could clip off. The back side though, that doesn't bother me to have little thread tails on the back side. You can clip them off, but what I like is there is no stabilizer and that it's stitched out so nicely. Let me try to bring it up and let the camera focus. And again, this was probably stitched at a letter height of 0.25 to, it could have been 0.28, something in that range. And the front side is nice and smooth. And how I achieved this was using a combination of the products I just talked about: a smaller needle, a thinner bobbin, and if you wanted to, a smaller thread. No, I did not turn the cutter off for my towels. Let's see if you can look at this. I did clip the jumps between the words, but I did not clip jumps between the letters. They are so small, it doesn't bother me at all. There's absolutely no reason to clip the tiny jumps between the letters. I did, again, though, between the words. And let's look at the other towel kind of up close. Now, again, this was a little bit harder to see because of the color I used on the white. But this one I probably stitched more at like a 0.3 height for the lettering. And this one I did with a built-in font from BES4 software. The blue towel was a built-in micro font from Dime's PEP software. Same thing on this one. Use Terreal Magic. Let's look at the back side. No stabilizer. Again, you're going to see a couple little thread tails that I could clip off if I wanted to. They certainly don't bother me in the least, but the back side feels nice and smooth. There are no knots. There are no bumps or anything. So, and again, this one used Terreal Magic on it. And I used a dime magnetic hoop. You don't have to use a magnetic hoop. It does make it easier, but you can still hoop in a traditional hoop. Judy asks, when I say thinner bobbin thread, do you mean the thread is thinner on the bobbin itself? Yeah, the thread is thinner, not the bobbin is thinner. You get bobbins that are made for your machine, but the thread, the bobbin thread, is actually thinner. Let me see if I can hold this up, and you can see where it says 90 weight here on the side. Most bobbin thread is 60 weight. This is 90 weight, so it's thinner. So that's one thing. You know, a lot of us like to do things ourselves. I wanted to do these towels myself. I didn't have this professionally digitized, you know, pay someone to come in and manually digitize small letters. I think a lot of us don't want to do that. I mean, maybe if you're going to do a logo and you're doing hundreds of shirts or something, you'd want to do that. And, you know, you're stitching small lettering, and your machine would be able to do that probably without using the smaller needle, the thinner threads, etc. But, you know, you want to do something for yourself. Using some of these products that I'm talking about is going to give you a better stitch out. This would also be really nice to use the Material Magic on, you know, a lot of people like to embroider on a handkerchief. That's very thin. A lot of people like to do heirloom stitching. And you're using like batiste or other really thin fabrics. And to do, you know, stitch on those, you really don't want to use stabilizer on the back, because especially on this white towel, had I used stabilizer on the back side, you would have gotten some bleed through. I mean, you would have seen the edge of the stabilizer, you know, from the front. Hi, Laurel. Let's see. Did I use a heat press to get those crisp folding lines? Nope. I just used my iron. Like I said, this one, I washed it. This one I know has been washed. I don't think this one has been washed, other than, you know, rinsing it a little bit after I embroidered it. But this is an iron. That's how I get my, the crisp lines in, is with an iron. These are 100% cotton towels too. And you'll notice I said this one was washed. Look how nice it still looks. The edges are still nice and straight. The corners, there's no shrinkage or anything. And this was a Dunroven towel, and the other one was from Wimple Street. I thought I saw another question. Yes, my auto threader, I'm using a Brother Luminaire. It works with the smaller threads, with the smaller eye needles. I thought I saw another question. I can't see it now. I'm looking through the questions. We're going to go back now to the machine, and it stitched the lettering. So let me bring the machine back up. So let me pull it out a little bit so you can kind of see it here. It's going to be a little hard because I'm too close. Let me bring it down here so you can get a little bit better look at it. Okay. Now on this, I would clip the jumps between the words. So I in love, I am going to clip that jump there. And between the O and the S and to sew, I'll clip that there. If I can grab it, I can't. There we go. I got it. That's why I like using these little Kai scissors, because they have these little tiny points on them. Now, any letters, any jumps between the letters, I'm not going to stitch those. It's way too small. Okay, so now the next step for this is to take my other piece of marine vinyl and put it on the back side of my hoop. I'm just going to center it over the back and tape it in place. Sometimes a lot of people just like to put this on the back side and kind of hold it and get it under the machine. Tape it down, because if you don't, it's certainly going to decide it wants to move and slip on you. So let me get it taped down. Now, sometimes people have problems when they're stitching something like this with marine vinyl, or maybe that glitter canvas vinyl. You could use that to make these too, with it dragging on the bed of the machine. if you have that problem, you could put a piece of water-soluble stabilizer over the back side, and that will help your will help the vinyl from sticking to the bed of your machine, or like the needle plate, that metal part. It will keep it from sticking. I don't really have a problem with vinyl sticking on my machine to the back side, but if you did, just put a piece of water soluble over the back. Some people even use like they make a paper, and I'm not sure exactly what it's called, that tears away easily. You could use that on the back side. So it's ready to go back into the machine, and the next step is going to stitch it all together. Let me go back to the machine because I'm going to change my bobbin thread, and I'm going to put black in the bobbin. That's why I have my bobbin right there. So let me get this bobbin out, and let me get this bobbin in. You do want to use a matching bobbin thread. Okay, and the bobbins I'm using, I'll just show you. This is just a regular bobbin. I'm not using anything special. These are just regular machine embroidery bobbins. They are pre-wound. They're from Dime. You can see them all in there. I get them in black and I get them in white. All right, so we're ready to get this on the machine to stitch the last step. Here's a tip. You know how it is when you're stitching. Let me show you this. When you're stitching like a bean stitch, this is a triple stitch going around, or you're going to be doing a running stitch outline on the back side. Excuse me. A lot of times you're going to get a knot, and it's just the way the machines are. They make that little knot. So to avoid the knot, let me give you a tip. What we're going to do is we're going to grab our bobbin thread, our top thread, and hopefully you can see, I got it right here is my top thread. I'm going to use my needle down button. I'm going to put the needle down through everything. I'm going to hit it again. It brings it up, and I'm going to pull on the tail here, and then here comes my bobbin thread. So hopefully you can see I have my bobbin thread and my top thread. If you bring these to the top, it's going to avoid that little knot on the back side. So let me go ahead and start. I'm still holding the tails. I'm going to let it stitch a few stitches. I'm going to stop the machine so I can cut these tails off. Personally, I like my needle down and the foot up so I can see it a little bit better. Clip those off and let it go around and finish stitching this step. So is anybody, Cheryl says someone uses light baby powder on the back. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure I would, just because I would be afraid it might get down into my machine. And I'm going to switch my camera again. 1 second here. And it's done stitching, so let me just take it off the machine. Okay, now it's ready to come out of the hoop. Let's look at the back side. Now, of course, we do have tails. And let me just cut those tails off. And let me give you a close-up look. Let the machine or the camera kind of focus. Now, you do see a tiny bit of heavy thread, but you don't see a big, ugly knot on the back. Let's go back to the front. Now, this is where it started stitching the outline. Right here. Now, some of you might think, well, that's kind of a weird place to put the start and stop of the outline going around. And I'm going to tell you why I did that as soon as we get it out of the hoop and get it ready to trim. So let me go ahead and take it out of the hoop. Set my hoop aside. Oops, let me get rid of this other camera. There we go. I can take the tape off. What I like to do next is I want to tear away as much of this stabilizer as I can. So So let me start tearing it, and I'm going to get it close to that stitching. It's close to the black outline stitching. And I'm going to tear it away as close as I can before I trim. And the reason I like to do this is because if you just trim it with the stabilizer still in it, you're going to be able to see stabilizer at the along that seam where you cut it along your outline. Now it's going to be kind of hard to get it down here in this area right here, but that's okay. Do I save my vinyl scraps, Patricia? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So I'm still just tearing this as close as I can get it. And just kind of look inside there and see, you don't see any stabilizer in there. You see a little bit here. I could get tweezers and pull that out if I wanted to. Now I'm going to go and trim around. So let me grab my big scissors. And this is always the hard part for everyone. The straight areas are not that hard because we just, you just have to go straight. You're going to trim about 1/8 of an inch from the stitching. And I like to start with the straight edges first. I am using my Kai scissors. And I want to just clip down until where that inside point is, where the heart starts on each side. And it is a little hard for me to see. I'll give you that. And then now I'm going to start and go around the shaped part of the heart. One thing I like to do, since this is an inside corner right here, see the inside corner, I like to come from the outside and clip into it. And I do that on both sides. To me, it's going to help me kind of start making that round cut. Let me get this one trimmed. It's a little hard for me to see because I don't have it right up in my face. Laurel, these are the 72 from the 7200 series. These are the 7250. Here, I think I can get it in there. Yeah. I love my Kai scissors. Absolutely love my Kai scissors. Now I'm going to go around this curved area. I'll get my scissors in there, get the direction I want to go. What's going to make a nicer cut is if you turn what you are cutting and not your scissors. So let me get ready to get started. So I'm just going to turn what I'm cutting. And I'm kind of getting a little bit bigger than my 1/8 of an inch. So let me kind of go back here. Having it underneath the camera and not closer to my face makes it a little bit harder for me to cut. And I want to do that all in one swooping motion. I don't want to chop at it. I want to go in one motion. So let's get rid of that part I don't need. And then now I just have to come up and around. Sandy, you only use Kai too? Me too. Laurel, I think you asked the size. I gave you the series. These are 10-inch. I just measured them on my cutting mat. These are 10-inch shears. I think I put the link on that page to these that I'm using. And let me just finish this up. Okay, now I didn't do the best job. Like I said, it's hard with my camera angle, but you can see on these couple of these other ones where I had a little bit more time to do it. Now, remember when I said I started here with the outline? So the reason I started there was because when this is done, and let me unsnap this one for you. So on this one, I started here and it stitched around so that, let's look at the back side of this one. See, it looks nice and clean. The reason I start and stop there is because when I put the tab through the hardware and close it, that is now back here on the back side. You don't see anything on the front side. So even if you ended up getting a little bit of a knot, you're still not going to see it on the front side, which that's where you really don't want to see it. And I don't even see it here on the back side. Okay, so let's put our cam snaps in. Let me clear off some of this stuff. Remember, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask. I'm trying to look at the questions. Let me kind of move some of this stuff out of the way. And let me get my snaps out. Now, the sewing machine snap and this little thread spool snap, and the one I'm going to use today, which is a button, these are all from Cam Snaps, camsnaps.com. Patricia, I used tearaway stabilizer. That's because, too, I wanted to be able to tear it away, remember, from the edge that I just showed you, so that when I cut this, you don't see stabilizer in between the two pieces of marine vinyl. Now, when you order from Cam Snaps, order from camsnaps.com. You know, you'll see some of this stuff on Amazon, but it's all not Cam Snaps. To get authentic Cam Snaps products, go to camsnaps.com. I'm going to be using the mini press today. It's set up for my snaps. This is what they call their mini table press, because how you actually use it, let me turn it. This is flat here on the bottom, so it's going to be able to stand up, and then you just take the handle and you press down. They do have the big press, which I have. I have their big green press, and they also have their handheld pliers. Any of the three will put, you know, your snaps in for you. I wanted to use this one because I thought it would be the best one for you guys to see. Now, when you get pliers or products from Cam Snaps, you get an awl. If you don't know what an awl is, it's just a sharp pointed metal object for you to bore holes into whatever you're going to put the snaps in. Personally, I like to use this leather hole punch. I got this off of Amazon. I will get that link fixed. Remember, everything I'm talking about, that first post on this video goes to a page of my website that shows you all the products and links to where you can get them or read about them. So I like to use this. This wheel turns here, so you can, you know, make any size hole. I'm going to have to turn it all the way around now. And I'm going to use the smallest one because I'm just using a snap. So the machine made our placements. So I'm going to punch a hole in both of these placements. I line it up. It lines up perfectly. And I just squeeze it. And you may or may not have heard that little like click. And let me just pull out the little piece that got punched out. And let me try to show you that. Can you see the hole in it? I can see the purple mat through that hole. So it makes a nice hole. The awl that you get works fine, but I like to use this leather punch, because to me it makes a little bit bigger hole. All right, so now I have my two holes punched. All right, that looks good. To do a snap, you need two caps. And a cap has this prong on it. I'm going to try to turn it so you can see it. See that sharp little prong? It's on both of these caps. Now, I'm using this decorative snap, and I'm using a plain snap. I don't need to waste, in my opinion, one of my nice, cute decorative snaps for the back side. So if you look at this one, here's my cute little spool with the needles on the front side. And on the back side, I just have a plain black cap because I didn't want to waste one of my pretty ones for just the back side. These are size 20. I use regular size 20. I never have a problem using them through 2 layers of marine vinyl. So for each snap, you need the 2 caps. Hi, Sally. And you need a female. And I know it's a little hard to see what they look like, but you need a female and a male. Some people call them an innie and an outie. You can see on this one how it sticks out, and this one it goes in. I'm not using long prong. I'm using just regular snaps. I see all the time where people say, oh, I have to use long prong. Oh, I have to clip the tips off of the caps. I don't have to do anything like that. In my opinion, I think they aren't installing them correctly. If you have to do that, you're just not installing them correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the pretty one on first. And that goes down here. So I'm just putting it through, and it's going to be a little hard for you to see that prong stick up. There, I could turn it, and you can see that prong right there sticking up. And I'm going to go ahead and put the female on the back side of that. And I'm just holding it on there. Let's look at the press here for a second. If you see the bottom of it, this area is kind of dipped down, okay? There's it's actually a circle the same size as the snap. So when I put this on, that cap is going to sit directly in that little indent at the bottom. Surely I get all of my snaps from camsnaps.com. So let me set it down before I mess this up. So I got everything in line. I know that my cap is down there at the bottom, and I'm just going to lower the handle. I like to go slowly until I'm going to lift it up just so you guys can see it. One thing I like to do is I like to twist mine once or twice. And the reason I do that is to make sure it's sitting down into that die correctly. Set it down and just press. And I'm not even pressing that hard. So if you have arthritis or, hand issues, I didn't press that hard, and my snap is installed. To do the other one, and this is my test. I always like to look at it first to make sure I'm doing it correctly. So it's going to come around and snap like this. So I know I need to put the cap, the other cap, on the same side as this one. So the two caps are on the same side. Take the male, put it over that. Do the exact same thing where I set it down into the little indentation there into that die. Lower the handle. And I just lowered enough. Right now, I'm not even pressing. I'm lowering it enough so that I know everything is together. I know my cap and my other part are together. Now I'm going to press. And I'm not pressing that hard. And the key to it is, I'm going to see if you can see this. I can bring it up there. See how that prong made a nice little circle in there? You might be able to see it better on one of these other color ones. Nope, you're not going to see it better on the black one. Maybe on the pink one. Yeah, on this one, you're going to be able to see it. See how that prong, this white or pink color here, that's the prong that came through. And see how it made a nice round little circle? That's how you know you've installed it correctly. If it's smashed or off to one side or something, you didn't install it right. And let me just get that snapped back together. Let's go back to the other one. I'm using 3/4 inch hardware. That's a swivel hook. Get them off of Amazon, pretty cheap. And then you just put it on, snap it, and you're done. So again, if you purchased the I Love to Sew keychain from embroiderygarden.com already, go and log in, re-download, and you're going to get the I Love to Quilt keychain also. So hope that was fun for you guys. Hope that you learned something. Let me get my camera switched so I can get back so you guys, I can see you and you can see me. All right, so are there any questions? Can we just get the parts for the press? You need to talk to Camp Snaps about their press. Again, like I said, they have handheld pliers. They have this one here. You'll get a better look at it. They call this one the mini table press, and then they have the big press. So and actually I have all three and love them. I use them for different things. Yeah, this is recorded. It's going to be on Embroidery Garden's Facebook page. It's also streamed to Embroidery Garden's YouTube channel. So you can watch it either place and it'll be up there basically forever. Again, I do these every month. Last month, oh geez, I'm trying to think, what did I do last month? I can't really remember what I did last month, but I did one last month. And before you go, I do want to say I have a few upcoming things. On Thursday, the 24th, I'm going to be on the All Brands show with Barbara from allbrands.com. And I'm going to be doing a demo showing you how to create an embossed design. And this is an embossed design on this towel using only a top of the line Brother machine and my design center or baby lock machine with IQ Designer. Let me turn it here a little bit so you can kind of see how it's raised up. I did this completely on the machine, no other software or anything. I'm going to show you how to create this. Even if you don't have one of those machines, the top of line baby lock or top of line Brother, what I show you, you're going to be able to probably take that into software and create it in software. And if I have time, I'm actually going to show how to do it in software also. So that's the 24th at 3:30, which you can watch that on All Brands Facebook page or on All Brands YouTube channel. On the 26th, Joanne Banco and I have our monthly Let's Get Creative meeting. That's something that you purchase from embroiderygarden.com. This month, I am showing you how to make a patch. Let me get that in focus there. And Joanne's going to be showing you how to do in the hoop crazy quilt blocks. And she's also going to show you how to take it and turn it into a coaster. She's going to be doing that in the hoop. You do get our files, so you will download this file for this patch, and you will get all the information about the products you need to make your patch look as nice and pretty as my patch does. So that's on the 26th. It's at 9:30. You get access to that video for 30 days. So you can sign up for that. That's going to close probably on Thursday. So you need to get signed up for that class if you want to. On Tuesday, March 1st, I'm going to be a guest with Eileen Roche on Dime's Facebook page. And I think we're going to be talking thread. So tune in for that. That's going to be at 1 o'clock. You can watch that on either Dime's Facebook page or on their YouTube channel. And then on Wednesday, March 2nd, I'm going to be hosting Dime's free virtual custom, custom quilting with your embroidery machine virtual event. That you're going to have 48 hours to rewatch the replay of that. And hold on one second. I can post these links to everything. Here we go. Right now, I just posted a link, excuse me, to everything I just talked about and links to where you can either watch it or sign up for it. All right. So it looks like that posted. Looks like it posted a couple of times. Okay. Yeah. The last demo was the snowman bag that I made out of Cuddle. You can watch that again on Embroidery Garden's Facebook page or YouTube channel. I already have next month's demo planned out. So again, thank you for joining me and hope to see you again next month or even sooner. Bye, everyone.